They're gonna put me in the movies. They're gonna make a big star out of me.
Oh, there it is again, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time. It's that time of the week. Let me tell you, Tuesday, March 28th, Mike Capra as himself. Good to be here. Good to be anywhere. Thank you for joining me again. Maybe you're listening to it fresh off the presses, 7 a.m. Maybe you're listening to it at work. Maybe you're listening to it on your lunch break. Maybe you're listening to it at home in the evening. Maybe you're a week behind. Well, catch the fuck up. That ain't no time to be slacking. We got a lot of shit to cover, a lot of stuff to talk about. Yesterday at work, I'm standing outside the office on my break, and the office is located in this little area by a couple man-made ponds, and it attracts so many of these Canadian geese. You know what I'm talking about? These typical geese with the long black neck. You got like maybe a little white patch underneath the chin, and then there's like the brown tan body. And oh my God, they're just the most heinous things I've ever seen. They scare the fuck out of me. And anybody who is close to me knows I have an intense fear of birds in general. The birds aren't my thing. All right, you know what? I could do plenty of other things, but I don't do birds. And people always ask, why I don't do birds? Well, they fly. They can bite you and fly away. They can shit on you and fly away. And their bones are hollow. I can't trust something that's got hollow bones. They ain't good people. At the end of the day, birds aren't good people. End of story, right? When was the last time you heard a bird did anything worth a shit, huh? What was the last bird that solved world hunger, huh? What was the last bird that was at the head of a teachers' union and mended the gap between the Chicago public school teachers and whoever they're against? I don't know. That sounds kind of stupid, right? I don't know. Who are they fighting against? Themselves? Are they fighting against? I don't know. I mean, they're always bitching about something. The school year didn't even start this year, and the Chicago public school teachers were already like, well, we're probably going to go on strike around November. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of going on strike, letting them know? Isn't the whole thing like, hey, we're not going to take this shit anymore for the 7th year in a row? Every year. They're going on strike every year. I don't understand it. Now, I don't got the full scope of things, and I don't know what's going on the inside. It sounds like you got a pretty sweet deal. Huh? Work 9 months of the year, 3 months off in the summer, 2 weeks off for the winter, around Christmas time, a week off for spring break. Fuck. You know what I got to do to get that kind of time off? I got to lose my job. But I'm sure there's something that I'm not seeing, something that somebody wants to point out. Go ahead, call me out on it then. Educate me. If you're a teacher, you should educate me. Let me know what the deal is. So next time when I see it on the news next year before the school year starts, I'll be able to know, like, hey, yeah, fuck whoever the teachers are against. They should be striking again. I feel like at this point, like, they just don't take the staff seriously anymore. They're like, yeah, we get it. You're striking. You guys do that. You know, I am totally disregarding that I did teach after-school acting classes in 2 Chicago public schools. So I do see a little bit of what they're talking about. Some of the resources that they have, some of the overcrowded classrooms. Like, I get it. I do get it. Chicago public schools are nasty. They still have that avocado green tile in the bathrooms. All right, you know what? I'm going to let the teachers slide. The teachers, you get to strike and you get to do whatever you want because you are educating our youth and you have the most important job of all. Now, the birds, on the other hand, aren't getting off that easy. Fuck them. I don't like them. I don't like them one damn bit. So, like I was saying, I'm standing outside and there's a whole colony of them or a flock or a gross or a school of them. Like, I don't know what you refer to them. A flock, right? A flock of birds, a flock of seagulls, a flock of geese, right? So there's a whole bunch of them. And eventually they abandoned 2 geese. And there's 2 geese that are just standing in the middle of the parking lot. And I'm just looking at these 2 geese, and they are quacking or squawking or howling and making a bunch of noise. And it sounded alarming. And there was a point where they both stop and they look at me. And I'm looking back at them. And I said to myself, hey, geese. I said to myself, saying to the geese, I said, hey, geese, don't you be charging towards me now. Because I have no idea what I would do. I don't know. Like, of course, I'd like to sit here and say that I'd be heroic. And my story always is specifically towards those geese that I'd grab them by the neck because I got the big long neck, squeeze the neck, and then always put a thumb in the eye. No matter what problem you get into with an animal, you can always stick your thumb in their eye and know that, like, hey, I'm gonna be set. The eyes are like the balls of the face. And so these 2 birds decide to take flight. And they decide to take flight in my direction. And I did what any other, civil human being would do. I screamed really loud and I took cover. Like they were dropping a nuclear bomb. Don't fuck with these geese, man. Like they open their wings up and they shake them at you, like to scare you off. And it's very alarming. There's an animalistic instinct within my body that's like, hey, don't fuck with those things. I don't know what it is. So they take a nice cool landing, in the grass, still in clear view of me, but far away enough where I'm comfortable observing, but, maybe a little too close for me not to, have some kind of, feeling like something might go down. And these 2 sons of bitches start biting each other. They just start biting each other. What? And I'm like, well, if they're going to bite each other, they sure as shit ain't going to give a damn about biting me. They will bite me. If they're not going to hold their own, they're going to come after me too. So they're going back and forth and back and forth. And at this point, I was like, I gotta stay out here until one of these geese finish off the other one. And so eventually one flies away and there's one left. The one that looked a little weaker than the other. And he turned around and I noticed he had a big stick just lodged into his side. I don't know if it was stuck under his wing or if he just took a wrong turn while he was flying past a tree or whatever, but either way, he was hurt. And I could see that he was in pain, and the sound he was making, had me begin to do what most idiot humans do, and we begin to humanize the animal. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this goose, and I'm like, wow, there he is. His family abandoned him. There I go, like making up all this shit. Like making up this story to make me feel sad. That goose doesn't even speak English. That goose doesn't have a social security number. When was the last time he paid income tax, huh? But I do this still. I'm still sad. I'm emotionally affected by the state of this goose. And so as I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, hey, those 2 birds weren't fighting. The other bird was trying to pull the stick out with his beak. The other bird was trying to help him. He was trying, because he kept biting in that one spot. I'm like, what's going on with that one spot? And so he kept trying to bite at the stick and pull it out. And eventually he was like, all right, buddy, fuck it. Like, I got to catch up with the rest of everybody. And I don't know what came over me. I don't know if I was just feeling a little extra ballsy or if just that story about the goose and his family leaving him that I made up in my head, if that got me. But I was like, I am going to approach this animal in the kindest way I can and let him know that I'm very afraid of him, but I do want to help and I'm not going to harm him. And so I approach the goose, and at first he's just chilling there. He's like, hey, like you're just walking by, right? You're not going to touch the stick in my side? And I was like, no, buddy, I'm actually here to pull the stick out. And if you were smart enough to understand me, I'd be able to just to tell you that, and you wouldn't act like a crazy weirdo. And so I get close enough, and for whatever reason, I start talking like 9 octaves higher than I normally do. Hey, buddy, I'm just going to get the stick out of your side. And, I don't know, there was like one step that I took, and then he wasn't having it anymore. He was just not having it. He like, so he does this thing where he opens his wings and like, and like kind of charged at me. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. You know, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm out of here. I don't want to have anything to do with this. You can have that stick in your side for the rest of your goddamn life then, you son of a bitch. I'm trying to help you. And because there's a communication barrier between us, between the kinds of animals that we are, you won't let me help you. So you sit there in pain. And then he did. And I went right inside immediately. You know, I was a little shooken up. I was pretty pale. Someone's like, hey, man, what's going on? You okay? I was like, nah, just like saw a car accident. It's fine. Everything's okay. It's cool. Stop looking at me. What? And so, of course, I start thinking. I was trying to help this goose, and he didn't realize it. And how often do we deny help? How often is help just staring us in the face, the resources and the tools to better ourselves, and how often do we just overlook it and ignore it? Probably more than we cared to admit. I know I have. I ain't going to speak for you, but there's been plenty of times when the answers are right there in front of me. And I was too stubborn or stupid to just accept it. And I let those opportunities, I let those blessings, I let those virtues pass. And then I learned the hard way, no matter what it is. And we all do shit like that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is be as aware of your surroundings as possible. If you're a goose with a stick stuck in your side and a person comes up to pull it out for you, you let him. Especially when he is filled with fear and he is facing that fear to try and better your life. Fucking cocksucker. You know, he was a testament to what pieces of shit those birds are. It was going to help him. He was going to be flying. He was going to be flying to the coast today. But no, he wants to sit there. He wants to shit all over the parking lot still. Don't be the bird, folks. Don't be the bird. So we got something new coming up next week. We're going to have a hotline, a phone number that you can call and leave a message on the hotline, and then I'm going to air it. And instead of you writing in questions, we're going to air your voice, air your question, your concern, or whatever the fuck you want to do. You call it, and I'm going to listen to it, and we'll figure it out on the air. That's going to be coming next week, so I'll have a phone number for you. I figure it's going to be a little more fun than writing in. Additionally, there will be time frames set aside for you to call while I'm recording so that we can have a conversation over the phone, and that'll be a part of the show too. I'm just kind of testing some of these things out. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't stick, then fuck it. We'll pull the plug on the number. But there will be a podcast hotline coming out next weekend, and I will have the phone number for you. And how are you listening to today's podcast? Is it on www.mikecapra.com, where you can find the newest videos, cartoons, and most recent episodes of this very podcast? You can catch up on all the episodes of Season 1, from Episode 1 all the way through to today, right there at mikecapra.com. For all your Mike Capra needs, please share it. Send it out to your friends. Send it out to your enemies. It'll be everything that they're looking for. You won't regret it because it'll make me happy and it'll validate me. And I feel like that's what most people are aiming to do. Validate me. That was gross. Thank you so much for all of your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for writing in. Everything that you've said has touched my heart so deeply, and I appreciate everybody taking the time out of their busy schedules to put me in their head. And I understand that there's a lot of things out there, a lot of forms of media, ways to entertain yourself, maybe on the train or during work or on a long trip, whatever it might be. And for the fact that you chose to listen to me means the world to me. If you would do me the biggest favor, share it. If you like the show, share it with your friends, share it with your enemies. I'd love for this to grow into something bigger and better each time that we do it. Keep those things coming. I want to hear from you. Send me an email, capramike@gmail.com. Let's get fired up about something. Send me something super personal or super controversial, and let's blow that shit up right here on the air. What do you say? Oh, I don't know. I fear confrontation. I don't know. I think that's it for this week, folks. Anything else? We'll talk about it next week. Hang in there, though. If you're having a rough time, it's gonna be all right. Everything's always gonna be all right. May the universe continue to bless you. My exit music, please.